Experience the future of flight. The XPeng Land Air Carrier.
Okay, picture this. You're standing under a breathtaking golden sunset painting the sky over the futuristic skyline of Dubai, right near the Atlantis resorts. I mean, it is the absolute perfect backdrop for something that looks like it was ripped straight out of a science fiction movie. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack a piece of technology that is literally changing the game of transportation as we know it. We are looking at the world's first XPeng Aero HT land air carrier. It's a vehicle that promises to completely disrupt how we think about our daily travel, and honestly, it is wild. So, look closely at this vehicle. At first glance, you might just think, hey, cool, that's a super futuristic van. And you wouldn't be wrong. It's got this super unusual, sleek, six-wheeled shape and just a massive, commanding presence on the road. But this isn't just some fancy people mover. This is actually a mothership. And the real magic? It's what this six-wheeled giant is concealing in its rear compartment. So, what could possibly be hiding inside this van?
Okay, let's dive into this, because this completely blew my mind when I first saw the source material. Hiding inside the back of that sleek van is an actual vertical takeoff flying car. Yeah, no way, right? The back half of this vehicle isn't for groceries or luggage. It is a dedicated charging and parking station for an autonomous aircraft. You are literally carrying your own personal flying car around with you inside a van. It's like having your own personal sci-fi movie right in your trunk.
Section 1. The six-wheeled mothership.
Let's start by breaking down the ground-based half of this incredible duo. The exterior design of this six-wheeler is incredibly deliberate and cutting-edge. It gives it this heavily planted, totally unique look. You'll also probably notice the traditional side mirrors, completely gone. They've been replaced with high-tech side cameras. But here's where the mystery really deepens. The passenger seats only go up to a certain point in the front. Everything behind that is the charging and parking station for the aircraft. Because of this, the interior of the passenger cabin is actually top secret. It's under a strict non-disclosure agreement. Even some people who work for XPeng haven't seen the inside. It just adds this incredible layer of premium exclusive mystery to the whole shebang.
Section 2. Unleashing the Air Car. So we have this massive, secretive mothership. Let's see how this builds into the most exciting part, which is actually unleashing the air car. I mean, how do you get a whole aircraft out of a van? It all starts with a single press of a button on the dashboard. From there, it is a highly choreographed, fully autonomous process. It's kind of like a high-tech Russian doll. First, the roof of the mothership opens wide. Then, the aircraft inside begins to deploy its front legs. Next, the mothership's suspension actually lowers itself to the ground, and the van slowly backs out, effectively sliding the air car right out onto the pavement. The back legs of the aircraft levitate into place and fold down to the ground. Finally, the massive propellers unfold from the sides and boom, it is completely ready for a vertical takeoff. And when it's time to pack up, a button on the side of the van reverses the whole process, tucking the aircraft safely back inside, closing the doors, and lowering the roof until nobody knows what's inside again.
So, a huge question here is accessibility. Who can actually operate this thing? Well, to drive the six-wheeled mothership van, you just need a standard normal driver's license. It operates just like a regular car on the road. But to take to the skies in the air car, you are going to need a special course. It's akin to getting a pilot's license, but according to the source material, the training takes significantly less time than traditional pilot lessons, mostly because of how much autonomous technology is actually assisting you up there.
Section 3. Inside the carbon cockpit.
Speaking of operating the aircraft, let's step out of the van and focus on the incredible sensory details waiting for you inside. Stepping into this two-seater aircraft, you'll immediately notice the entire body is constructed from ultra-lightweight carbon fiber. When you walk up to it, you're greeted by these gorgeous, soft-closing dual swing doors. Once you're inside the dual cockpit, everything is draped in premium Alcantara fabric. You look out through a massive front windshield that curves all the way up to the roof, giving you a stunning 270-degree view of the world around you. You can tell XPeng really paid attention to the luxury details here to ensure an exceptional premium experience. It is just an absolute masterclass in high-end tech aesthetics.
The design here brilliantly simplifies the complex act of flying. There are no confusing walls of buttons or dials everywhere. There is a single operator sitting right in the middle of the cockpit. In front of them, just one single screen and one joystick. That's it. You push forward to go faster, pull backward to slow down, left and right turn you, well, respectively. You push up to ascend and down to descend. Actually, it's shockingly intuitive when you think about it.
Section 4. Safety, specs, and charging.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the engineering backs up all that luxury and simplicity. Let's look at the hard specs and safety features that make this sci-fi dream a practical reality. The entire aircraft weighs in at an incredibly light 700 kilograms. That is a massive engineering feat, and it is exactly why this two-seater is capable of such smooth, autonomous vertical takeoffs and landings using its folded propellers.
And the price for all this groundbreaking tech? Well, in the Chinese market, it's currently sitting at around $290,000. Now, the global pricing hasn't been released yet, so that remains a pretty exciting unknown. But it definitely gives us a clear baseline for the tier of luxury and innovation we're dealing with here.
But I know what you're thinking. What if something goes wrong in the air? To ensure absolute safety, the aircraft relies on a total of 6 propellers, 2 at the front and 4 at the back. Here is the reassurance, though. It only actually needs 4 of them to fly safely. If 1 or even 2 propellers fail mid-flight, the built-in redundancy kicks in immediately. The aircraft stabilizes itself and will autonomously pilot itself safely back to the mothership to park. You see, you aren't really the sole brain of the operation inside this cockpit. The aircraft is packed with this amazing smart pants tech, highly intelligent sensors and cameras that constantly scan the environment. If you try to land somewhere unsuitable, the system will literally tell you, "Hey buddy, this ground isn't good. I suggest landing a few meters that way." On top of that, if the battery runs low, it autonomously triggers an auto-return sequence to head right back to the carrier. And if things get really tight, there's an extra emergency battery specifically dedicated to getting you home safely.
And when it does get back to the mothership, the turnaround time is just staggering. It takes just 15 minutes to charge the aircraft for a single flight cycle. That means you're spending way less time waiting around and way more time up in the air.
Better yet, the 6-wheeled mothership itself holds a massive amount of power. It can provide the air car with 6 full charging cycles before the van itself even needs to be plugged in. You can literally take multiple trips, explore different areas, all without ever visiting a traditional charging station or an airport.
Section 5. The future of commuting. Let's zoom out for a second here. We've looked at the specs, the gorgeous design, and that unbelievable unloading sequence. But what does this actually mean for us? This represents a fundamental disruption to daily travel. The source perfectly captures the ultimate dream scenario here. Imagine a Friday evening. Instead of sitting in awful bumper-to-bumper traffic, you pack up the mothership, drive out to a beautiful, scenic spot, hit a button to deploy your aircraft, and just say, "Hey, let's fly for dinner," and skip the traffic. You take off into the sunset, enjoy a beautiful aerial view in your carbon fiber Alcantara-lined cockpit, and land right at your destination. It completely transforms the mundane commute into a breathtaking, exclusive experience.
We are transitioning from a world where flying cars were just CGI concepts in movies to a world where a massive 6-wheeled van can spit out an autonomous aircraft at the press of a button. The XPeng Aero HT land air carrier is real. It's flying today, and it is totally redefining the limits of personal transport. The technology is here, the redundancies are in place, and the mothership is ready to deploy. So I guess the only question left for you to answer is, are you ready to fly to dinner?